Hello, hello, hello. Welcome to episode 96 of the Take a Poll podcast with Andy Cummins and Declan Carl and some special guests tonight as we cover the Cheltenham Festival. Deck. It's the one time a year where we go abroad. As we said, we've dusted off the passports, but before we introduce our guests, how's yourself? How are you getting on?
Yeah, good. Starting to look forward to next week a bit now. And dread it at the same time. If I can get the voice back for it, I'll be happy. For a while, I can't see it lasting long.
Getting your spot beside the bin at the corner of the Arkle bar is the first
table.
preference, wasn't it? The table. Sorry, the table. Yeah, sorry.
The bar. Keeps us propped up for the week.
That's it. Very much looking forward to it. Luke, how are things with you, bud? Back on the show. It's good to see you.
Good to be back. Thanks for having me.
No, awesome. I look forward to seeing what you've come up with. And Ian Donoghue, thank you very much for joining us. I think it's your second or third time possibly on the show now. Congratulations with Dunboyne at the weekend. It was borderline sorcery that getting them back from, a couple of pulled up efforts, obviously unstable debut. How are things with yourself, and congratulations?
Good, cheers. Thanks for having me back, lads. Yeah, all good. It was good with Dunboyne the weekend. Now it was nice that he brought us homework to the track anyway. So a bit of satisfaction getting him to win.
We're disgusted now. You let him go off at that price, though.
Yeah, well, you just couldn't trust him enough. I wish you could have. You would have bought a farm out.
you bought half the country with the price that he was. It was fantastic.
There was a few stags in Navan now that I knew lads off both of them, and they were going around buying bottles of champagne. It's where they owned them. They had it back. They were happy.
Oh, fantastic. Well, look, Ian, you've, as you said there, just off recording, 34 horses currently in the yard. You've gone strength to strength really this year. Obviously, getting Dunboyne back was no mean feat, so it's brilliant. But how are things ticking along then with your horses? You enjoying your season?
Yeah, good. Look, we've been slow the last while. The usual, getting handicapped, plenty of young horses. Now we're hopefully building up a nice team now for the summer. We did an alright year with the pointers, a few gone to England and stuff like that. So concentrating on the summer horses now, and we have a few 2-year-olds and a few for the flat now. So hopefully we can have a good summer.
Awesome. And you're not without a chance, I suppose. You were talking as well about sending a couple to Aintree. So you inherited obviously Break My Soul, stable debut there at Gowran behind Kit's Bull. She completely ran out of her skin. You must have been delighted with that. Aintree's the plan for her, is it?
Yeah, we were delighted with her in Gowran, and we think we only had her 5 weeks, so we just kind of had her settling in, and we said to Donna drop in just right. I was fairly confident she got her black type that day. I was twice as happy, and I seen her getting upside your man jumping the last. Knew she'd get tired. He galloped the line, but no, she's come on plenty. She's woke up plenty. She's booked a few lads off since that, and looking forward to going to Aintree with her.
Awesome. And it's the same story as well for Listamont Lad. You must have been tempted to maybe check Cheltenham out, as given that he won there earlier in the year. But
yeah, I wasn't. Probably now this weather. I'm sorry I didn't. I was going to give him a break when we come home from New Year's Day. The ground was just gone from that day, and Sean minded him. And then I decided no, I wanted to try him over 2 mile, sharpen him up, and he's had a freshen up now, and he's going to go. Hopefully he get into the Tottenham. I think the run over 2 miles last day will sharpen him up and help him for that. If you can get in a rhythm in the Tottenham now, nice low weight, he should go close up.
He'll enjoy himself over those big Aintree fences, absolutely. And I suppose some avid listeners of the show would kill me if we didn't ask about St. Dennis as well. He was got a bit of a celebrity status, maybe courtesy of Declan. How is he getting on?
Yeah, no bother in Dennis. It was great to get him back to winning ways there at Christmas. We were very happy going for the national trial in Punchtown, and I'd say he just didn't turn up. Darcy felt like he hated the ground, which he'd won on before, but I suppose you're just up in that grade, it's a different story. He pulled up 2 out, but he come home now very sore and tender. He had a handy couple of weeks. He's back cantering yesterday morning, and he's bucking and squealing, so we'll try to find something for him now in 2 or 3 weeks.
Awesome. Very best of luck with him, and again, thank you very much for joining us tonight, Ian. Hopefully you're as good as a tipster as you are a trainer.
I don't know about that.
Look, if you can just put a bit of the Dunboyne dust on your tip tonight, that would be fantastic. Right, well, let's we'll kick off. So we've got a bit of a funny rundown. What we're going to try and do is we're going to cover the big 4 races and give our tips kind of over the 4 days. I put a Trixie a day in the title. Obviously, you're not married to that. If anybody has an app or a double or a Yankee or whatever you want to do, by all means, tip what you want, and we can talk maybe around some of our selections, and we'll keep it going like that. So, obviously, the first day being the Tuesday, we're going to go straight in and we're going to cover the champion hurdle to start with. Obviously, the big news here, I suppose, is the potential defection of Lossiemouth to the Mares hurdle, but we have got the superstar mare in Brighter Days Ahead, who's now definitely going to the champion hurdle, which is fantastic. We're going to get, at bare minimum, get a match between Brighter Days Ahead and Constitution Hill. Ian, I'll stick with you. Do you see this as a match, or can you see anything else possibly getting involved?
Yeah, no, I think it's a match. Obviously, if Lossiemouth turned up, it'd probably make it a little bit better. Look, it's going to be great. I don't know. I'd always have a thing for the underdog. I'd love to see the mare do it. I think tactics will be key. Whoever's riding King of Kingsfield, I'd say it's not to go too hard too early and just build it up plenty early. And if she gets a nice toe to the bottom of the hill, I don't think Titterell will get by her.
Wow. Okay. I was thinking now, like the way Constitution Hill does stand off the wings, the wings of the hurdle, the later they get into the race, like we've seen him do it in the international hurdle, we see it when he won his first champion hurdle. If he tries anything funny like that at the last hurdle, given that the pace they're likely going to go, I don't think he's going to get to the other side of it personally.
The other side, the thing of that, Andy, is it's a half an hour later as well. So if it's sunny, that shadow is going to be longer.
The Andy Power shadow, yeah, I suppose.
Yeah, well, he done the same 2 years ago, didn't he, in the champion hurdle?
Yeah, that's what I was saying. He did it, and the international hurdle he did it as well now. So, like, I don't know. Once maybe it's a fluke.
Like he has the scope to get away with it once Nico has the balls to go forward with him. You know, it's a different story when you're coming up, when you're sitting on a horse like that and you come up, they might have to reach. But if he's giving him a kick in the belly, he definitely has the scope to do it anyway.
Very interesting. And you wouldn't think, I think more maybe from a fatigue standpoint, like given the pace they go, that you'd think he'll get from A to B regardless.
I'd say so. I don't see the jumping going to kill him. It's just hopefully they can put his kind of heart to the test more so than that he actually has to have a hard race.
Very good, very good. And Dec, what are your thoughts here? The mare or the gelding?
I just have a bit of a suspicion that Constitution Hill and State Man could be, not in the best working order, and like there's no place like the festival to find that out. Like you've seen this, the Bracken, Cato Star go there and be pulled up, and just the whole occasion gets to them, and they're probably going a half yard faster than they've been going all season. And like if there's any cracks in there, it'll find them out. So I look, I love Statement, but I couldn't trust Constitution Hill or Statement in the champion hurdle. So yeah, look, I probably would be siding with the mare. I was thinking the other day, would it be worth having a small each way bet on Border Road on the day? Like if you're gonna get big enough odds, I might be tempted, but look, it's probably not really gonna be a betting race for me, and I'm a little bit tired of the race already. Like there's been so much bullshit all year, and it's looking like it's gonna be a cracker, and I'm just fed up with it because the updates we've had, and now we have to, like, with the mares, are they going, are they not going? And like Constitution Hill is like I'm a bit fatigued by the race, to be honest. And that's the time we're living in now. It's Cheltenham every day, and it's Constitution Hill every day, and it's just, I can see it maybe being a bit of an anticlimax.
Yeah, well, look, Constitution Hill will probably have to win for Nicky Henderson to get the money back in ink that he's spent on that printer. So
ink's not cheap.
Ink's not cheap. So, right, on that, Lukey, who's your fancy here? Can you see it outside the top two?
You can't look by the top two anyway, unless Lossiemouth shows up, which is, I still think she might just show up here. I know there's been lots of talk about it the last 2 days. There's pause on State Man. She's going to go to Mares, but I wouldn't just rule it out just yet. I think there might be another swing in the direction of her running here, but we'll see. I think that actually, if she runs, it's going to make it a lot more difficult for Nico on Constitution Hill, because whatever about just having to watch Jack in front, he's going to have to watch whoever's on Lossiemouth behind him at the same time. He's not going to want to go too soon there, chase the mare and just leave himself open for Lossiemouth coming behind. I don't think State Man's in the same form as he was 2 years ago, which wasn't enough to beat him anyway. I'd be with the mare. I think, as Ian was saying, whoever rides King at Kingsfield is going to have a good job of here, just trying to get the pace right and build it early and get them racing down into the home bend. I think, like, how far is Nico going to sit off Jack at the same time? I don't think he's going to give him too much, but will he be able to sustain it? I don't know. I think there's holes in him. He hasn't looked up. Like, his run at Kempton this year, it was grand. Burdent Road probably put a bit of dampener on that. He was still in there, and Lossiemouth never went early. Everyone was jumping up and down about the gallop at, what was the word they used for the gallop at Kempton? Frightening for beating the 220 rated handicappers. Give it a rest, lads. I'd be with the mare.
I think we're all with the mare. I wonder if this is our tricolours coming out in our coming out in us here, or is it the mare? No, I think it is.
It'd be great to see. It'd be great to see him win and win impressive, and he would be stamping himself then as a great. But at least I think she'll make a good race of it anyway.
Yeah, no, I totally agree. I'm probably not going to have a bet in the race myself, but like, given what the mare did, like what she did in that Madison hurdle was nothing short of exceptional. The way she just powered away and how genuine she was, like, she didn't get lonely or anything in the home straight on her own. She just powered all the way to the line. It was so impressive. And it took me a while to warm to her as well. I was never like, I was always willing to take her on at basically any given opportunity. But no, she's proved me wrong time and time again, and I'll probably be siding with her for the champion hurdle. Right, lads, we'll go on to our Tuesday bets now. Obviously, we can speak around all the races here. There's no problem whatsoever. So whatever way you guys want to do this is absolutely fine by me. I'll go in reverse order, Luke. I'll start with you. Obviously, we were talking a bit off air about the Supreme Novice Hurdle, and Willie Mullins is kind of, well, they're not once raced horses. They're horses coming in here off the back of just maiden hurdle wins. Very, very unique in that kind of approach, but obviously we've had such a dry winter that maybe opportunities have been limited for a lot of novices, and that's why we might get funny results at this year's festival. So with that said, I don't know if you've added the Supreme Novices Hurdle to your Trixie or Yankee or whatever you're going to give us, but what do you fancy for Tuesday?
I won't add him in. I'll let you make the case for him there. I just think that favourite's going to be hard to oppose, and he's plenty short at this stage, but I wouldn't be against your lad each way. The first leg of my Trixie is going to be Brighter Days Ahead. Champion hurdle, as mentioned a few minutes ago about her. I just think that she might just have to take in a Constitution Hill here. The second is going to be Total Look in the Fred Winter. I think Stencil's a favourite to get after. His run at Cheltenham was grand the last day. He was well bet by East India Doc. His mark is probably just what it should be. Thought Total Look came from the flat with a lofty enough rating. He got up to 87, but I think he got a big hike for finishing second in Roscommon on his last run, and that probably just forced their hand to go hurdling and look elsewhere, because he probably didn't have much in hand off that mark on the flat. His win in his maiden hurdle at Navan was a tidy little contest. Beyond Your Dreams, whose third favourite, was back in second, and Wendrock was third. He won at Leopardstown over Christmas. Then gained some Cheltenham experience in December. He was just kind of outgunned late on by the English pair on the far side, the two Bowens. Dead heated for the race. I'd assume he had a small break after that before coming back in Punchestown in January. Like, he'd been on the go since April on the flat, so I'd assume he had a little break there between that run at Cheltenham and his run in Punchestown, where I think Stevie Wonder could have seen this lad. You could have said this lad was eye-catching in Punchestown that day. He didn't jump great, and he kind of got a bit behind. He finished strongly. He didn't. I just thought there was he might have been better than that. Now the English handicapper hasn't missed him at the same time. Threw on 7 on top of his Irish rating. I think there's still a bit more in hand there off his mark. I think this race might just suit him, and he might take a bit of stopping there. And then the final selection is going to be in the last race on the day, which is now the National Hunt Chase. It's another, I think it might be a Keith Donoghue, Gavin Cromwell double to finish off day 1 with Now Is the Hour. He didn't do much early on in his hurdles career, but then he kind of got his act together in a short space of time when he won at Fairyhouse last year. before a few weeks later, he went on to Haydock and won that Grade 2 bottomless ground. He just looks like an out-and-out stayer, and this race could be just made for him. He started off life over fences in a 2-mile beginners down in Cork, which was only a few weeks after his win at Haydock. Over 2 miles, the trip just caught him out. That bit of experience, jumping, 2-mile pace will stand to him here. I don't think there's an awful lot in this race that looks to be thrown in. I thought he might have the potential to have a few pounds in hand. He hadn't done much since coming back at the start of the season. Before, he was fourth at Navan in a hot beginner's chase, and the handicapper hasn't missed him. The Irish handicapper gave him £10 for finishing fourth. He went into the race with a rating of 125, came out with a rating of 135, and the English handicapper's thrown on a few more for the crack as well. I think he probably does want a bit slower ground, but I think he might just get away with it over this trip, and I think that could be a quick fire double for Gavin and Keith to finish off day one.
Are pros riding in the 4-miler now?
Yeah,
they are indeed. Yeah, absolutely. Now it was a bit of a weird one. They ended up getting £10 for getting placed in the beginners, but I don't know if
it was mainly down to 3-card Bragger winning it. I think Kinter Calanisi got a scalping too for finishing second.
A bollocking too, yeah. And then obviously Total Luck. I think Keith ended up in the principal's office after that one. Wasn't there an inquiry after his run? I think
it was.
Did you see the length of the?
Yeah, the spotlight comments is a bleeding autobiography of the horse's life, basically. Yeah. So and that's probably what got him £7, I'd imagine. But no, interesting enough selections there. So it's brighter days ahead at around the 15 to 8 2-1 mark in the Champion Hurdle. Total Luck around 11 to 2 in the Fred Winter, and then now is the hour in the National Hunt Chase. He's around a 7 to 2 shot for Lukey. Dec, I'll come to you next, unless you have any comments on Luke's selections before I start up.
No.
So
we see this brilliant now. Now, look, I have a Trixie. I've gone for Trixie as well, but I am taking 2 in the Supreme.
All right,
and you probably know where I'm going with the 2, Andy.
I know one of them for sure.
You're on C.
Yeah.
Well, we were getting fancy prices last week. Missed her down on bet.
You were texting me drunk saying, let's start a gamble and have a tenner on Irancy there at 120. I was like, oh yeah, no problem. I kind of wish I did now. We seem to have 20s on the exchange.
You just thought we could get people on Twitter to go, oh Jesus, look what's going on here. And it's mad you can do that with a tenner these days, but like he's still in there. Look, he's obviously quite fragile, but he definitely could be anything. And I was at Punchestown when he won his maiden this year. Will the Boys was in second. He beat him easily enough now. He was just quite impressive that day, I felt. On his jumps debut last year, he was third to Firefox and Ballybourne, and what was a really, really hot maiden, maybe the maiden of the season last year. So, look, he is 7, but he's quite lightly raced. I think twice on the flat in France and twice over jumps in Ireland. So, like, it's kind of a now or never for him as well, isn't it? Like, he needs to go. But look, he's definitely, if you got the prices we got last week, you're happy enough. And he's probably still going to be, you're still going to get 20-25 to 1 on the day, I'd say. The other one is William Money. I think this test is really going to suit him, and not many tests have suited him to date. He does have a bit to find with work ahead, but I think with Sean's hands, he's going to be a lot better than he has been. The day he was beaten by Cowabunga, like he was very keen, and he got keen again during the race, and Finney was just struggling with him a little bit, and he wasn't beaten far in the end. I definitely see him reversing the form with Cowabunga if they raced again. Then in the ultimate, Sequestered, I haven't heard an awful lot of love for Sequestered. Still only 7, 5 chase runs, winning on his handicap debut of 125 at Leopardstown, and then he was second off 134 at the DRF. The Tour at Monbeg Park has followed up since. I can see him having a right chance if he runs. The Fred Winter, Solar Drive, he improved since his hurdling debut to win at Ballinrobe in September. He did have the form reverse now with Action Plan, but he was given plenty weight all around that day, and Slaughtercane was in behind him as well. He's actually rated higher than him now in Britain. He was second in the Scottish Triumph the last day. I did like that early juvenile form the early season juvenile form, and we haven't seen a lot of Solar Drive since, apart from the run at Musselburgh. But yeah, look, I think he's as good a chance as anyone in the race.
It's funny enough you mentioned Solar Drive. I've gone to the Scottish Champion Hurdle as well, but I'll get back to it now in a minute. But that's very interesting. So Dec with Urancy at 10-1, and William Mully, I was just trying to find a price on him.
I think they're both 10s at the moment.
They're about around 10-1, aren't they? Yeah, I'll just double check that real quick. Yeah, now it was a good point about William Mully. Obviously, I think he did settle very well for Sean the last day at Punchestown, and yeah, he was very impressive. I thought. I think he's a definitely live outsider there, and yeah, Solar Drive interesting too, and Sequestered. My old man is very much fancy Sequestered, so it'd be interesting to see how he gets on. That form's working out nicely at the Dublin Racing Festival. Ian, I'll come to you next. Again, no pressure to give us a Trixie or anything. We just need the winners. So,
there's one winner every day.
I think there's a horse being completely overlooked in the Supreme, Romeo Coolio.
Okay,
loads of experience, good run the bumper there last year, and he was very free, keen horse. Keith dropped him in, came with a run. Being so free probably cost him the last 100 yards. Really, had been a bit closer, finished second. I think a strong run Supreme now is made for him.
And Gallop, yeah.
He's been there, kind of, and handled the place. Whereas I think the favourite is liable to boil over a bit. And my next one, she can't really pass the mare in the Champion Hurdle. I may stick with her. And I like Joseph's horse in the Fred Winter, the horse that was second, I think, to Total Luck in Navan. I'm losing the name of it there now.
Beyond Your Dreams.
Beyond Your Dreams, is it? Or sorry, is it Put Your Hands Together?
No, you put your hands together, yeah.
Yeah.
It'd be interesting to see what Mark Walsh rides there.
Yeah, he's going to have a choice there, isn't he? So, you think he'll be on Put Your Hands Together?
What?
He'll ride the French horse.
He'll ride an Irish one, I'd say.
Yeah.
Who rode Stencil the last day? That was it was James Reevely. He's probably going to be over.
James Reevely has rode at all its runs.
Right.
I'd say he'll keep the ride.
Would Mark get the choice there?
Oh yeah. Well, I presume so.
He'd get him on the Irish ones, I'd imagine, would he?
Yeah. I think Total Luck. I'd love to see Total Luck obviously win it, but I don't think he jumps well enough.
Many runs he had over. Obviously, he's had the three.
Four, I think.
Just the three.
Just a tray for Total Luck, yeah, and then he's had obviously plenty of flat experience too. Very good. So that's Romeo Coolio.
I do know.
Sorry, go on, Ian.
I remember Luke said about maybe the flat handicap got up him. I don't think that was the case. The plan all along was to go jumping. I know Gary Carroll would love to have him in a big flat handicap, so he obviously definitely has the ability, but I just don't know if his jumping's good enough.
Just on Romeo Coolio, he's probably, you're right, he has been overlooked. There's not an awful lot of people talking about him. I have found him quite impressive now over hurdles, because I actually thought it was going to be a waste of a year when I seen him at Cheltenham last year. He's a big horse. I'd have loved to see him go straight chasing, but he was very, very good on his debut. And if you're prepared to put a lion through the Royal Bond, he was excellent then
that was just, I'd say that was a falsely run race. They didn't go quick and then sprinted down the straight.
No, we'd agree there. He's just, I just think he's a bit skinny now. When there's I suppose the ones I went for about 10-1, but last week they were 20-1, so it was more, that's the way it was approached.
You got them before you tipped them.
Yeah, we have to do that around here.
Yeah, at the same time though, it's, if you're backing a horse for Cheltenham, with everywhere going non-runner no bet, it's this week in particular is probably the worst possible time you can back a horse, because everything, if the bookies don't know much about a horse in a handicap, the likelihood is it's going to be around 12 to 16-1, and it doesn't even have to be friendless on the day. It just has to be mildly unpopular, and you'll probably get 25s, 33s, no problem. Given the competitiveness of it as well. So we're giving out our horses here and the prices, but if anybody is listening and looks to wants to have a bet, maybe just write them down and just back them on the day. The chances are you're going to get place concessions and all that good stuff as well. So my list is, again, I'm going to the Supreme. Luke and I were chatting offline about this. I've been very keen basically since the turn of the year to back something that's came out of a maiden hurdle and going straight into the Supreme. I just think it's the kind of year that's in it. Ian, you made the point about Kopek the boards possibly boiling over. I don't disagree with you there. I did note a lot of Willie's horses at the Dublin Racing Festival. Gaelic Warrior, I think Kopek the board was another example. They were only doing about half a lap at most of the parade ring and going straight out, which I don't know if you get away with that at Cheltenham or in England.
No, well, it's probably in the parade. We have the pre-parade ring there and the crowd standing around it as well.
Yeah.
It's a buzzy place.
Yeah, absolutely. So I'm going to... that's kind of one of the main reasons I'm going to want to take him on as well. He could easily run his race in the ring, and we've seen a lot of horses kind of do that. Obviously, Get a Bird, Angel's Breath. We've seen plenty do it in the Supreme. The one I'm going to go with, and it's probably more of an assist to Luke as well, was Carbow. Very impressive last time out at Punchestown. Beat Captain Ryan Matt kind of as easy as he likes. He was behind Shuffle the Deck on his domestic debut. Way too keen that day, but he was a very, very strong traveller. I thought he improved from his first to second run really well. Bit of an each way price. Chance he could drift as well. He's around 16-1 at the minute, but he could get bigger. My initial selection was going to be Kiss Will, but I have a feeling he's going to go in the Wednesday race. I'm trying not to tip non-runners. One of the horses I'm really, really keen on for the rest of the week, for the whole week, is Whistle Stop Tour in the Ultima. Now he's been very well found, unfortunately. I was at Cheltenham Trials Day, and I thought this horse went fence to fence in that 2.5 mile novice chase. Really, really scopy. Was out of his comfort zone. He was going as fast as he liked, but his jumping just didn't fall to tatters. And when a horse is going faster than they like and their jumping is good, it tends to bode well when they step up in trip, or in this case, this horse's case, back up in trip. I originally had him down for the National Hunt Chase, but the plan is obviously to come here. He's come out of the National Hunt Chase. I think he's going to take a fair bit of whacking in what looks a really weak Ultima. And then again, I'm going to the Boodles and then the Scottish Triumph Hurdle form as well, Dec, that I was talking about. Luker's Tipple for Andrew Kinnerans. We were watching. I thought he was a goner after that final flight blunder.
Yeah, I thought he was dead. Yeah.
He hung like a garden gate. It was, I don't know how. He hung so badly, and he was still probably going to win the race. He probably just wasn't concentrating, come down to last, floored himself, probably would have won the race. The race was won by St. Pancras, who went on to be second in the Adonis at Kempton, trying to give weight away to the field. So I thought that was a pretty good run. I think the form stacking up. St. Pancras is rated 123. I think Luker's Tipple would have won the Scottish Triumph Hurdle that day, despite hanging really badly, and he's in here off 123. He's around 14-1 at the moment, but going back to what I said about horses drifting on the day, if this horse goes off 14-1, it would be as a result of a professional punt. This horse, you'll get 25s, 28s, possibly even 33s on the day, I'd say. So don't back this horse now, back him on the day. And if I get that wrong, I hold my hands up. But he's really bad value at the moment, but he will drift, and don't worry about the drift because it's Cheltenham. Every horse really should, especially in the handicaps. So that brings us to an end of day one, guys. We'll make a quick move on to day two. Dec, I'm going to come straight to you because this is a race I say you have so many opinions on. The race that gave you a great crack last year with Captain Guinness. Are you going to stay biased, or you've the new kid on the block? You were basically the only one that calls Solness a grade 1 chaser at the start of the season. You've been proved right there in no uncertain terms. So it's like choosing between your two kids probably here, Dec. So which one are you going to go with?
I've chosen both of them. Look, I was backing Captain Guinness from very early on in the season. I just couldn't believe a horse that had won the race 2 starts ago and had just and the race after he'd just been touched off by what's now second favourite for the Gold Cup, he was just outstaying at Punchestown. He was 33-1, and he's kind of done everything you'd expect of him, or what we've come to know about him this season. Like the old heart issue, he's underperforming, but he's going to be trained for the day. He's arguably the fastest horse in training. He barely gets the trip. He was lucky that it was Gentleman to Me chasing him last year, and He didn't get the trip either. But we lived the dream last year. We great crack. We've won a lot of money off him over the last 2 years because we had 100 to 1 when the year he was second. But like the new kid in the block, Solness, he took them all out of their comfort zone in Leopardstown. No one could cover them. He jumped, he galloped, and he stayed the 2 mile one. Like when it looked like he was going to get tired, he stayed the 2 mile one really, really well, I thought. So he's going to stay this trip 1 mile 7.5 really, really well. He's improving with racing, and he's improving with, been ridden hard and hard racing. Like we were saying since the summer, and he was going to develop into a grade 1 chaser. Like
more so you, but yeah.
because of the Tingle Creek, but like he probably didn't handle the ground that day. You have to remember this horse won handicap as a 5-year-old, handicap chase a 5-year-old on Hatton's Grace weekend. Like, the ability's always been there, and he's just maturing now. He's probably my nap at the festival.
Wow. Okay. So in no uncertain terms, Captain Guinness has been kicked to the curb. And
well, see, I was chipping away at Captain Guinness since early on in the season. So I've got 33s, 50s. So like I can back somebody else, but I love Captain Guinness to win. But I genuinely believe this is a proper 2 mile grade 1 chaser.
Awesome. Yeah, I totally agree with you. I cannot wait to see him go to Clappers and see put his
like
there's
not hope in hell some 3 miler from France is going to be able to go to gallop with him around here. Like
he's going to the Ryanair, so I don't think Le Ryanair, so I don't think you need to worry about that. No, it would have been interesting.
What is there any other front runners in there?
Well, no, Matata's going to Aintree. Blood Destiny was not confirmed. So you would have had horses getting reminders going by the winning post first time to suddenly him possibly getting it all his own way, and just if he's good enough, he's good enough, I suppose. Ian, what do you think of the champion chase?
Yeah, obviously, I'd say it's a weak renewal of it, really. John Bon, sure, you kind of like to see him do it. Don't think he will. I'm going to say that Marine National might turn the form around with Solness. I think if Sean can sit a bit closer to him. Sean probably didn't get a chance to get a breather in. He had to go chasing early. And that probably cost him then from the back of the last, whereas Danny was able to get a breather and he got to the line. I think if Sean can sit with him and sit a bit closer, he could just turn that form around.
Yeah, I think Barry Connell deserves an awful lot of credit for what he's managed to do with that horse this year. It's not easy when you only have I think he had 2 starts as a novice.
Yeah.
I think he'd 3 starts as a novice hurdler. So that's not a lot of experience to go into open graded company. And the horse is visibly improved from run to run, as you said. And you would expect a career best at the bare minimum, I would have thought. It's just whether that's good enough, I suppose.
I do think if he can sit a bit closer, which he should be able to around there. I'd say like they were kind of half banking on letting Danny come back a bit, and then he'd go chase him without getting a breather. So I hope
absolutely.
It's been nice to see him win around there, especially after Michael winning on him around there and stuff like that. Yeah,
no, absolutely. It would be it would be a reception for the ages coming back in. I'd say like it'd be like honeysuckle on steroids. I'd say it would honestly be unbelievable. It would be the best sentimental winner, absolutely. No two ways about that. Luke, champion chase, what do you like?
I'm with Ian here. The only thing that I'd add too is he's probably not going to have to do the donkey work himself to go and catch Solness. I wouldn't say Nico and Paul are going to be sitting too far off, and so I'd say he'll have something to drag him into the race a bit more. Whereas he's just left himself to go do all the donkey work, go chasing. Whereas Danny could just sit up in front. I thought Found 50 might have been a bit overpriced at 16s. Like he's done very little wrong. He's only been out of the first 2 once, and that was when he pulled up at Leopardstown last time. Is he good enough to beat them? I don't know, but at a big price at 16s, I'd probably just take a chance on him each way. There's lots of talk about Marine National during the week, and he was kind of a nice each way price there, 6 or 7 to 1. But with Ile Francie looking like he's going to the Ryanair, and Gaelic Warrior not getting confirmed today, he's he's just tightened in to 9-2 there. He's probably D2A play. I'd take the two of them against John Bon here.
Okay. I thought found a 50 was a ludicrous price. Myself, I have done all year. I have a small docket of 50 to 1, but he did obviously blot his copybook at Leopardstown, but obviously the horse wasn't right.
This is going to be a LeBake style thing here. If this lad wins, you're going to be going around your 50 to 1, found a 50.
Yeah, waving it around, yeah.
Yeah, it's like that Paddy Power video through the week there.
Oh, stop. Yeah, that was good. No, I do think when you look back in the form, like Sinesia clearly, like you can make the argument the horse is in love with Navan. Like he's excelled there twice now. Like, I don't know if you can call that a fluke. He's gave weight away to then Solness. Now, obviously there was a steward's inquiry after, when they finished. So I suppose you could throw a little bit of shade on it, but what you can't throw shade on it is he was giving Solness £7 that day. And I thought that was a really tidy effort. It's just a matter. He's one horse. The only thing I'd worry about is if he can go that early gallop. Is he a genuine 2-miler? I think he'd be absolutely fine. But I think if there's any horse that is going to be coming home well, I think it is going to be found a 50. It's just whether if he's coming home well from 15 lengths off the pace or coming home well from 6 lengths off the pace. I think that's what it kind of really boils down to. But I will probably agree with Dec. With that said, I do think Solness is a changed horse since the change of tactics and a decent ground. I do think he has the ability to grind them into submission. And look, I know there's talk about John Bon and his love affair with Cheltenham, or his lack of love with Cheltenham. I think he's definitely a better horse at Sandown. And like, he found a way to get beaten by, who was it, Eldorado Allen, was it? I can't even remember who beat him in the Clarence House, but he did find a way.
The third last, was it?
Elixir the Nuts.
It was Elixir the Nuts. It was Elixir the Nuts. You're dead right, Dec. And then, like, he wasn't even that impressive, like beating Boot Hill and the Schlor at the start of the season either. So I just think that the track isn't going to really play to his strength. So I think he's Solness to beat down to 50 for me. Might even throw you guys in with Marine National. Might even do like a little reverse try-cast there in the champion chase, because I think that's it'll pay well, and I think there's form there to kind of back it up. Right, lads, we'll move on to the Wednesday Trixies, or the Wednesday bets. I'm probably going to change that to the Wednesday bets now. All right, I will. Dec, I'll probably swing around the same way. I'll come to you first if that's okay.
Yeah, I've a Yankee, Andy, or a
Yankee. By all means, go ahead.
I have the 4 here. The Broadway, is that what we're calling it now?
We can call it the Broadway. Yeah, you showing off your racing knowledge there, Dec. Go on.
Lecky Watson, like for a horse who looked like he was just a slow 3-miler last year, he's been so impressive in both chase starts, and he's looked very, very comfortable at 2.5 miles. I think he's definitely going to improve going up and tripping. Like I've just kind of fallen out of love with Ballybourne a little bit. Now he was good at Leopardstown, and he just ran away from Crow Park. But I think Lecky Watson is one that's probably not getting the credit he deserves after his 2 runs. Like I thought he's been very, very impressive, and what I thought was, both times trip too short. So I'd be keen enough now on Lecky Watson in this race. Then the Coral Cup, Eagle Fang in here off 147, probably high enough mark, but the connections definitely think this horse is going to develop into a Grade 1 horse. He was torn on his 4th start in open company in the Lismullen Hurdle behind home with a Lee, and can't remember who was second that day. He was then beaten 9 lengths in the Ascot Walk, the Grade 1 hurdle. He got £3 for that. He's only 5. I think this horse is going places. Like, I think he's a future Stayers hurdle horse, as in like probably next year. I'd be looking to take prices on him now if he's a good spring as soon as next season starts, or maybe over the summer. The Queen Mother, Solness, already been covered. And then of the Grand Annual, Jazzy Matty, I think King Collins done quite a good job with Jazzy Matty. He's run well here in October. He's won at the festival when he won the Fred Winter, and hopefully we get Tiernan Power Roach up, and he'll just have to do what he does and steer them around.
8-1, yeah, Jazzy Maddie does. So you're that'd be another one that obviously the second horse in Mikey's double a few years ago. Again, another fitting winner if he was to cross the line in front. So Lecky Watson at 9s, Eagle Fang 25-1. If you want to have a cut at him, Solness I think is around 7-1. I have to just double check that. And
You
Jazzy
can
Maddie
get bigger
around.
anti-post.
You get bigger, yeah. You probably get bigger, and as I said, a lot of these on the day, chances are a lot of these are going to go out. Like I wouldn't be surprised you got 40-1 Eagle Fang, near enough the day, and Solness and Jazzy Matty then for Dec. Ian, I'll come to you next with any Wednesday selections that you may have.
I go to Brown Advisory, Stellar Story. I think that was a very good run in Avon last day. He didn't look too busy. Stumptown, he won down a half speed in the cross country. I know he's plenty of weight, but he could have carried an extra stone the last day and still bet all them. Now it's probably a more competitive race, and I know Gordon's going to throw plenty of darts at, but I still think Stumptown could do the business there.
I actually agree. I think Stumptown's a good thing now.
I do too.
I just wouldn't go down and hit the 3-1 shots, you know.
Yeah.
Keith absolutely loves this horse, Ian, though, doesn't he? Like I think he said in his interview at Racing TV that the only horse that kind of doesn't jump the birches or the tree or whatever, him and Tiger Roll were the only ones that would like run through it.
Yeah, and sure they both weren't great over normal fence, so I suppose they have that in common.
They like to get away green, basically.
Yeah, like Keith says, you can get away around there now, just bending your knees. The last time we were over there, we watched some of them schooling. Now, I suppose the speed carries them through them. Them hedges are big. There's good drop behind them, so you don't want to be wasting any time in the air. And no, I just think the way he done it last day, I was over there for the sales, myself and Joey Dunn, and we were actually looking out the Hunter's Lodge window at him coming up the hill, like, and he definitely could have won 40 lengths if he wanted to. So now Nicky's horse could be the dodge in there. He's getting more experience around it, but I don't think he likes to win.
Is that the horse?
The 4-year novice?
Yeah. He's going to land up someday though. He could be the dodge.
Yeah.
How many Grand Nationals has he ran in? He hasn't. Yeah. He's still a maiden.
Then I think the Grand Annual then as well. Skeleton's horse that won it last year. Can't see why he doesn't again. I do think the English 2-mile handicap chasers are ahead of the Irish, and I think he's the one.
Unexpected Party. So Stellar Story, Stumptown, and Unexpected Party for Ian. And just going back to Stumptown, Ian, why is it? Do you think is it the horse have to have to be astute to cross country? Probably a stupid question, such a different race, but why do you think Stumptown excelled so much in this discipline? He was no mug over fences, obviously. Won a Kimura, or sorry, second in the Kimura, wasn't he? So
yeah, he's second in the Kimura. Like, oh look here, he's a good horse. Like that's the thing with that race now. It's not like a farmer's race anymore. You need a good horse to be in it.
Yeah.
I do think it's just a jumping. You need to be so low and quick. Like that's Keith's adamant about that. Like you cannot waste any time in the air or you're losing lengths. And he doesn't. Whereas when he was doing that, say like it was Danny rode him in a Kerry National, he was jumping that way, but you're rooting fences when you're doing that. Whereas them hedges, you can just get away with being low, and he's very good. Like.
Fantastic, yeah. I think he's a great chance myself, and Dec obviously fancies him as well. Luke, are you going to complete the love affair here with Stumptown, or does he make your list?
He doesn't quite make the list. I have another one at a bigger price than that, but like I can't disagree with anything you've said. It's just the price that's probably putting me off a small bit. He has plenty of weight. I thought I'd just take a chance on the Goffer in that. Like he's gone off single figure price in the last two Ultimas. Was 9-2 favourite last year, and he's running off a mark of 147. Like he's dropped down to 137 here, and he sneaks in with 10-4 on his back. Like he's had two runs over the cross country courses. He's had one in Cheltenham in December, then he ran and punched them behind Cocoa Beach. He's a horse that needs a bit of decent ground, and I'm hoping, I know it's soft heavy in at the cross country track at the minute, but with a nice week there this week, hopefully it'll just quicken up a small bit for him. I thought 16s he might be worth taking a chance on. As for the Coral Cup, sure, it's an easy game, just show up and back whatever Dan Skelton runs in the Coral Cup these days. It's kind of like Willie Mullins in the bumper over here, just back Dan Skelton in the Coral Cup. be aware, like he's fairly unexposed for a 6-year-old, especially over this trip. He had one run over the 2.5 last year in a novice hurdle, and he finished behind a decent yardstick of Fergal O'Brien's. His first run this year was a savage run behind Burdett Road in the Great Wood. He only went down less than a length. He did a nice little quiet run there in Ascot, finished third. Behind two decent yardsticks. I'd say there's plenty of improvement to come from this lad when he steps up and trip, which he will here. Bit of decent ground. As Dec was saying, Eagle Fang could be a stayers hurdle horse for the next year. This lad might be in a similar mould. I know the market hasn't missed him now at this stage. He's around 9-2, but I'd probably just take a chance on him. And the last one is my mate Mozzie in the Grand Annual. Now this lad would he'd hurt your bank balance back in him most of the time, but he's a bit of a cliff horse. Like he struggles to get his head in front. Keith's probably gonna have to do something similar to what he done on him when he won his novice chase. Was it 2 years ago at Cheltenham? Arse in the air over in the last, and hopefully he gets to the line. But a race like this should really suit him. They go breakneck. He'll just sit out the back. Like he ran well at Leopardstown the last day. He was a long way back, made up ground, and just didn't get to on Piandarrick. He looked like he was going to go by him when they jumped the last, but you always had in the back of your mind what was he going to find when he came off the bridle there over the last. Like he's been found in the market a small bit. Does he have a lot in hand off his mark? Probably not. But do I think I can't see him out of the places here, and hopefully today can be his big day. Like he deserves a big day. He's been placed in a Galway hurdle, Leopardstown the last day, and hopefully today or Wednesday, the Grand Annual might be his big day.
Yeah, he's no mug, my mate Mozzie, but you are right. You just need to hold on and hold on and hold on even more, don't you?
There's a fierce case of seconditis.
He does, yeah. Let's bring Ian back in there now. Right, so I'm gonna go with, well, mine is the first one is a bit of an asterisk. So this is on the basis that Final Demand goes to the Albert Bartlett. I've gone purely on the exchange prices here. Kiss Will for Willie Mullins, a horse I'm absolutely over. I think this horse is a machine now. I would have gone for him in the Supreme, but the exchange prices are suggesting he's going to run here instead, which is why I stayed away from him in the Supreme. On the basis that Final Demand does not run, I would go for him in the Bearing Bingham. Won't include him in my multiple though, for that reason. I want to be tipping non-runners. Look, Dec, you're going to give me awful abuse here because he's into about even when you're 11-10, but I do think Ballyburn's a God-given certainty in the Broadway. I've always been a believer in speed kills those that don't have it. Don't see a whole lot of pace on. People said he's not a very good jumper, but like it's hard to be a better jumper than when a hurdler when you're rated 162 as a novice. Like he didn't do a whole lot wrong in his debut. I think Kempton at a high level on good ground is a very specialist track. I think I think you have to be a type of mold to kind of go around Kempton at Christmas time when the ground is like that, especially when you're chasing a horse like Sergino. So I don't think he lost much in defeat there. And like the way Paul Townend just let him pop the last at Leopardstown, knowing he'd pick up Croke Park, who was already a dual grade 1 winner at the time, and has won kind of powering away to the line. I think he's going to be very hard to beat personally. I think he's only going to get shorter as well. So my first one will be Ballyburn. Second one, Coral Cup. Willie Mullins trained Bunting. I think he's going to go here. Dec mentioned Eagle Fang, 5-year-old. I've kind of had a rule of thumb that I'm probably going to have a second look at any horses that are 5, given how good the juveniles were last year that are rated under 140. This lad comes in off 139. Second at Clonmel to Beckett Rock. He probably should have won that race. He made a howling mistake down the back straight that day. Was probably a little bit unlucky not to win the race. That collateral form that Beckett Rock had at Fairyhouse has gotten him a slightly bigger hike from the English handicapper. I think he's got £5, but maybe £4 I think. But again, lightly raced, and I think could be pretty well handicapped off his mark, especially on his grade 1 juvenile form from last year. And then the final one obviously being, well, actually I'll probably do the Yankee. I'll take out the first race. Stumptown has already been covered. I think he's going to go and win the cross country. As I said, I completely agree with Ian. I think he was only doing a half speed, and how much Keith loves him, it's kind of hard to ignore. And then obviously Solness, I'll be joining in Dec, hoping that he can go pillar to post in the champion chase and get followed home by Found 50 and Marine Nationale for crazy exotic purposes. So that brings us to the end of Wednesday. All right, guys, we're at the halfway mark. So onto the Stayers Hurdle next. The 3 miler, the one race where you look at your foal in the field and go, Jesus Christ, you know what race he'll win when he's older? The Stayers Hurdle. So basically for the horses that can't jump allegedly, I'm just going to stop slagging because I've one that
have you ever tried to breed the Stayers
deeply
Hurdle
in this in Lucky Place, but we'll get to him in a minute.
It takes a fair horse. Don't be fair hard.
Yeah, no, absolutely. You need a proper galloper.
But they're
Luke,
like their second child, like, aren't they? They're accidents, you know. No, he's bought one or bred one. Like.
I wouldn't mind having a few of them now.
Oh, stop. Just ask Rob Core. All their horses seem to go down the Stayers Hurdle route eventually. Luke, I'll come to you first on the Stayers Hurdle. I don't think I've come to you first yet. So obviously speaking of Rob Corder, obviously you have the favourite here in Tehupo, who we don't see very much of, but was, had an excellent season last year. Very much put in his place by Lossiemouth this year, and hasn't really been seen since, obviously by design. But would you fancy him at even money, or would you be looking elsewhere?
I'd probably just sit back and watch him now, to be honest. Like, you're looking at this race, like, what's going to beat him? Home by Lee he's looked better than he has before, but like still he's gone 10. Tehupo's only gone 8. You'd like to think he will hold his measure anyway. Lucky Place has been impressive in his 2 runs. I'd say there's a bit of a gap now between what he's done and what Tehupo is capable of. Langer Dan is thrown in here, going for his third win at the festival for the good guys. Could you fancy him? Not really. Like it's hard to look by the favourite here. I wouldn't be interested in looking by and back anything each way. I just prefer sit back, watch Tehupo go back to back, hopefully.
Alrighty. Ian, I'll come to you next. Stayers Hurdle, are you a Tehupo fan?
Yeah, definitely. I do think now I'll be friends with one of the lads out Gordon's, and I know he's very sweet on the Wall Park. He thinks he'll have a 1-2 here.
Wow. So you think is the Wall Park definitely coming here then? Because I know there's a lot of talk about possibly he's still in the pretemps, and he's definitely here, is he?
I think so. Sure. JP is nothing else in it, has he?
No, not to my knowledge, no.
Yeah, he'll be here, so you'd imagine.
Okay.
I did just talking to him. I was talking to him on the way there, and he's very sweet in the Wall Park. He thinks he'll have 1-2 here, and he wouldn't be surprised if he turned around with Tehupo.
Wow. Okay, so maybe the Wall Park each way is to play there.
Yeah.
Awesome. Dec, Stayers Hurdle.
No, I'll take him on. It might be a year too soon for him, but I do like Rocky's Diamond. He's a good tour at Christmas in the Grade 1. He's obviously going to be improving, only being a 5-year-old. He was keen and green in the Galmoy, but he put his head down and he got the job done. I was really, really impressed with him that day. So, look, I'd be happy to have a go with him. But I can see him and Eagle Fang definitely fighting it out next year.
Very good. Obviously a shout out to Declan Quaid. Like, what a season he's had. He's really gone to the next level with some excellent winners. And Rocky's Diamond, going there with a live chance is fantastic. And but you are right, it might be possibly a year too soon at the age of 5. But he has won a Galway Hurdle, as you said, looking green, kind of ran around in front that day. Did very well to win. I'm very much with Lucky Place. Probably my bet of the week, to be honest with you. At the age of 6, he's only at the age of 6 now, unbeaten this season at Ascot and then winning at Cheltenham. Gave £6 to the Cleve Hurdle winner in the Nigel Twist and Davis horse. He's actually just escaped my mind. Someone can bail me out. Gale Road. Thank you, Lukey. Gave £6 to Gale Road and a beating. And now the question is, will he stay 3 miles? I personally think he will. I don't think he'll have any issues with the trip. Very, very progressive. I look back on Tehupo and look, he had a brilliant season last year, but he failed to win the Stayers Hurdle at 6. I think he won a bad Stayers Hurdle last year. And with that, I would just be happy enough to take him on. Obviously, the ground getting quicker. I know he won a quick ground. He won on quick enough ground at the Punchestown Festival, but I think there's enough in with what I've just kind of said there to take him on. Plenty of horses come in the Stayers hurdle at 6, like Florin Porter did it, and many others have done it. So I wouldn't have it down as an age thing. It wouldn't be like a 5-year-old. So look, and another thing about Lucky Place is he ran so well for Nicky Henderson last year when the yard was just very sick at Christmas last year, or Christmas at the festival last year. And I think he was 4th in the Coral Cup or maybe 5th in the Coral Cup. Ran a blinder, was right there pitching at the end. So I'd be very confident in him to win the Stayers hurdle. And yeah, I'd definitely be confident. Moving on to Thursday bets. Luke, I'll swing back around to yourself. What do you fancy?
Thursday, first race, the Mare's Novice. I thought 6.5 was very good last day. She done a lot in a short space of time last year. Like, she won her bumper. She made her bumper debut on the 10th of March, and then she went on to win her bumper, won a flat maiden, won a fillies handicap at Newmarket, and then was placed in the Irish Cesarewitch before she went on to win her hurdles debut at Ferias. I thought she was fairly faultless now. The rest of them are strung out like the washing in behind. Your favourite mare was back in second, Qualamita. She probably hasn't done the form any favours, but
they must hate
I
me.
just
Rob
think
Core probably end up hating me. It's not by design, but like
How much did she cost?
$500,000, was it?
The only thing is, she's a mare, though. She
Yeah, but she has to win to have any bleeding value. Like, I know she's won a point to point, but like
Tankerstown Diva and Noel McParlin's mare, the only 2 winners out of that point.
Yeah, Tankerstown Dave is a nice enough mare, I suppose. But
Yeah,
like,
but here now.
she's
Yeah.
gonna go
Yeah,
China.
She's 102.
yeah, like you'd enjoy, you'd have fun owning her. Like,
No, they fell.
Assuming you didn't,
follow.
assuming you didn't spend $500,000 on her, but like, yeah, fair enough.
How much did she cost?
Tankerstown Diva.
Yeah.
I think she was 6.5 as a store.
That's definitely, I'd definitely rather own her. Anyway, Lukey, sorry. Go ahead.
Go away.
Luke.
You all right, Luke?
Yeah, so
There we go.
yeah, no, but the
Got
internet
there.
here, wouldn't be the best. So user
Yeah.
kind of gone robot there, so I wasn't sure what was going on. But yeah, I think the hamster stopped running downstairs, so I better go down and make sure he gets going again. She'd be the first leg and probably the banker leg of the Trixie on day 3. The second leg will be win some, lose some in the Pretemps. He's been rising through the handicap. Like, he started off a mark of 105 in the summer. He's won 3 times since. He's climbed up to 138. The last day at Leopardstown, it's his first time over 3 miles, and I thought it was just the making of him. He'd been getting a bit outpaced in his race over 2 miles, 2.5 miles before that. But to step up to 3 miles, like, he travelled all through his race. He came to the last, jumped to the front, and I thought he just got a bit lonely in front then, and he's probably a lot better than the winning margin suggested. Dry ground looks a huge bonus to him. Like, he was hunting away there through the summer last year, and it was nice at Leopardstown. He won that day. I think Mark might ride this lad, and I think he could be the one here. Like, he's about 10 or 12 to 1 there at the minute. If Mark's jocked up beside him, which I'd imagine he will be if the Wall Park goes to the Stayers. So I think like around 12 to 1 there. I know you're saying a lot of these horses are probably going to get bigger on the day. I think he could be one that will go the opposite way and be a good bit shorter. And the last leg is Midnight Arfred in the Kimure. He's travelled across the Cheltenham 3 times and finished runner-up on each time. He might go one better here in the Kimure. He ran a cracker in the Paddy Power last time out. He was up in the van the whole way. They all came to him, and he kind of kicked on again, turned in. And it was only Percival like Alwa that got the better of him in the finish. I know he's well bet on the day, but like, he'd Nick Rocket back at 4th. Pinkerton was 3rd. He put everything else away, bar the winner, who was very impressive. He's still relatively unexposed for an 8-year-old. Like, he's only had the 8 runs over fences. I think he's an ideal type for the race, and I'd say whichever amateur picks up the ride on him will get a good spin out of him, and hopefully he will finish out the Trixie with a winner.
Yeah, I think he's a great chance myself. I thought it might go for the National Hunt Chase though, but drying ground would have to be a bonus for him as well. Midnight or Fred. Who do you think, Luke? Before I go on to Ian, if you had to say, obviously I don't think Derek O'Connor is available. I think he rides Johnny Who. But who do you think?
He's on
who do you
Johnny
think will-
Hugh, isn't he?
Yeah, I think who do you think will pick up the ride on Midnight or Fred?
Barry O'Neill,
Put me on the
maybe.
spot, probably
Barry
not
O'Neill,
fair.
yeah, that's
I'm
right.
just
Barry
looking
O'Neill.
here. What other Irish entries are there? Trying to whole pile.
Finney Maguire's going to be on
Derek
9
St. JP's
Graces.
horse.
Yeah. Well, Finney's going to be on
Yeah.
9 Graces, so yeah, I don't know.
Barry, maybe.
Hopefully,
Or,
Barry O'Neill and Midnight or Fred.
Ben Harvey's brother might ride him, will he? Ben rode him the last few times.
No, he's conditional now.
Is he?
Alex is
Alex
That
conditional, yeah.
Yeah.
I'm sure they'll have plenty of suitors anyway for Midnight or Fred. He definitely has a live chance.
I'd say his phone's been busy anyway.
Yeah, absolutely, totally agree. Ian, Thursday, any big fancies?
The Jack Richardson novice handicap Asian Master, especially if Townend picks him, I think that'll be a complete tip in itself.
That it's funny enough you mentioned that actually. Ian, with
Don't know if your man Costello will be able to do the weight on him. What's he got? He's 11-2, is it?
Well, if Springwell Bay or Croke Park stand their ground, there's not a prayer he'll be able to do it. So he'd
Croke
be
Park's not
sweating.
going to.
Yeah, so it kind of hinges on whether Springwell Bay is declared. If Springwell Bay is declared, he's snookered, I'd say.
I'd say Willie's feeding that young fella. Good up. Get another ball into you there.
Yeah, like here,
Another
don't
stew
get
into
me
this
wrong.
one.
Come on, we go in for a steak.
He can ride. That young lad can ride. He's done nothing wrong on the horse, but you'd love to see Townend on him and that now. I think he'd definitely take beating. The stairs, I'm going to go with Anto Fox here and I'll go to Wall Park. You can blame him. And then, what did I fancy? And the Mayor's Novice, sure, 6.5. I think the flat form should be good enough. She jumped well in Fairy House, a little bit keen early. And nice to see her win.
Wall Park. So the Wall Park 6.5 and Asian Master for Ian. We could have a 2v2 here in the Dawn Run. If we 2 for 6.5, Dec, I think you're going to go the same way as me.
Well,
The Dawn
yeah,
Run. What do you like?
I will if my main fancy is a non-runner in it, which is likely because I think they're going to target the Triumph, where they're going to target the Grade 1. But I do think trainers are missing a bit of a trick now with juveniles in the Mayor's Novice, because you can be getting an awful lot of weight. And like if Galileo Dame turned up here, I think she'd be really tough to beat. She'd get £10. She was second on her jumps debut before she was second in the Grade 1 at the DRF. But if she doesn't run, which it looks like she's going to the Triumph, that's the way they're speaking, it would be air of entitlement to win a Down Royal on Stevens' day. That's the one I assume you're talking about.
Yeah.
Yeah. In the what do we call it? The Jack Richards or the Golden Miller? Or what is it?
Well, it was the Golden Miller and it's now the Jack Richards. So
who's Jack Richards?
That's a good
You
question.
were talking to him tonight. We were over that.
Your man in the Jacks.
How did you get a race named after? There's one for the table.
Look, I've kind of nailed me colours to the mast a long time ago in this race. And he is going, I'm delighted seeing him going to Snowboard Ring. Look, in my opinion, they were stopping him as a juvenile and they were struggling to hold on to him. He's placed in Grade 1s. He placed in the Triumph. They've done their best. Like, they were doing their best to stop him in his first couple of chase runs. And then they must have not fed him for about 3 days before the race at Leopardstown to bury him out the back. Because, you know, anytime anytime this horse has been knocked off, he's just ran into the places. I think he's supremely talented. I think last year's juveniles were the vintage crop. Probably the greatest crop of juveniles we've seen. He's went and won the Galway Hurdle. People are crabbing his jumping, but like it's probably not too easy to jump, and you know you're being absolutely strangled to death mid race. But I can see him being spot on today. It's the only danger to him in the race would be a stablemate, and I'm hoping he goes to the plate because he's my last leg. It's Jordan's. He's only a 6-year-old. He's improving. Real eye catcher in the Limerick Grade 1. at Christmas. He was impressive when he won at Punchestown, the grade 3 earlier on in the year. I've been waiting on him to step up the 3 miles. I think he'd be, a live one in the RSA, but I hope he comes to the plate now, and I just think he'd be too good for the field on the day. What's the plate going to be like? Because anything well handicap's going for the Jackie Richards.
If you're a novice and you have enough runs and you don't run on the plate, you're off the spot, in my opinion.
But Joseph's just going to win both.
But this is the thing, and this is you've given all your horses out there, Dec, have you?
Look,
Irvine Hilton and Nürburgring.
With Galileo then being a non-runner, it'll end up just a Joseph double, Nürburgring and John in the identical races.
Yeah, it's
on the same fucking day.
And you could, like, if you were, you could be eligible for both. The one horse that is eligible for both and is entered in both, I just don't know which race he's going to run in. I don't know, Ian, if you might be able to shed a light on it, because Keith will probably ride him wherever he goes. The company sergeant.
Haven't
a notion. Yeah, I don't think. Yeah, the betting doesn't really have a clue either.
He's doing a preview in Rotota.
Oh, very good.
And you ended up here with us.
The company sergeant, he's in the Jack Richards and he's in the plate. I think he's an extremely well handicapped horse. They really came for him in the handicap hurdle at Navan. I don't know if it was the Brown Lad, it might have been the other one, I can't remember the name, but I think the Brown Lad's 3 miles, isn't it? I think this one was 2.5. This horse is, I'm convinced, is very, very well handicapped over fences. I do think the easier option is to play, but obviously he is a novice, so he does have the option of the Jack Richards. Whatever race he runs in, he's an on-the-day bet for me, and he'd be an on-the-day multiple. Whatever race the company sergeant rocks up in, I think he's going to take all the beating. Going back to the Dawn Run, I'm completely with Dec, assuming Galileo Dame doesn't run in Air of Entitlement. Kind of have to be, given that we're, spoiler alert, in the future, we're both keen on Ballybow, so you have to back the mare that kind of put him in his place at Down Royal. I'm completely with Luke as well in the pretend some, win some, lose some. Reminded me a little bit of Sorry the Bearley, actually, a little bit. Kind of hit a flat spot down the back straight at Leopardstown, powered home, won easily. And I think a lot of winners have came from that Leopardstown Pretemps qualifier. He's going to have to take some amount of whacking, I'd say. A few horses in there that did catch my eye. Obviously, the Art, who a horse that I've how much have I lost on him so far, Dec? I've lost a fortune on him, I'd say. But I wouldn't be surprised if he ran well. And also Carl de Trail for Philip Fenton, another 5-year-old under 140. I think he's rated 139. Qualified at Punchestown earlier in the season. The form has been boosted by what Franciscan Rock has done subsequently in winning a conditions race and running well in the Galmoy hurdle. So I'd say he'd have a bit of scope off his mark to possibly go well. Only 5 years old, and there's another 5-year-old that could be 6 next year and going well in the Stayers hurdle, assuming they don't go chasing. Win some, lose some for myself. And then obviously, no two ways about it, lucky place. Have to put him in for the Stayers hurdle. I think he's going to take all the beating. If he can stay that trip, I think he will stay that trip. So I'd strongly fancy him. Won't completely copy Luke, because I've already given up 4 and I'm not going to give any more, but I would fancy Midnight or Fred as well if anybody was inclined to go that way, but he isn't going to make my list. So that brings us to an end of Thursday, lads. We're nearly there. We're actually making pretty good time. I know we're only an hour and change in, but I thought we'd be here all night.
We're lucky to have his voice back fully yet.
Yeah, especially Declan's borderline refused tonight, so that's it. You have to get the hood. We have to put the hood on him and spin him around and then sit.
Tongue tie.
Yeah, tongue tie. Very good. Right, lads, the Gold Cup, the main event, the blue ribbon. Look, is it this simple that Galopin Des Champs just wins? I'm going to put out a hypothetical to you guys. Not a lot of rain forecasted. Obviously, you're going to lump on the hose is going to be in full swing, so they're going to obviously water the ground quite a lot. But we do have Banbridge, who comes from a completely unique strain of form. King George winner, 2 mile grade 1 winner last year. Won the King George off a pretty frantic gallop. In my opinion, will likely stay. Would probably enjoy the ground more than Galopin Des Champs if it is good ground. I'm not saying Galopin Des Champs doesn't handle it, far from it. I'm just playing devil's advocate here, trying to make a race of it. But if you take a line through La Homme Press in last year's Gold Cup, I think Galopin Des Champs beat him maybe 12 or 13 lengths. or I'm actually sorry, 15, 16 lengths. I think then Banbridge beat Lahon Press in this year's King George by about 12 or 13 lengths. The difference being Lahon Press got to the second last and was banged there and just didn't quite get up the hill. There's strains of form that I think you can maybe put Banbridge bang there, like maybe to within Galopin de Champs skirts. Whether he's good enough to go by over 3.25 miles is the big question.
Maybe at the bottom of the hill he might be as skirt. He definitely won't
maybe
be
at the right. So that's it.
Is Stone better going left-handed?
He could be. I'm just, as I said, I'm trying to play devil's advocate. I'm trying to make a race of a base of what a two's on here. So, right, Ian, you think absolutely no chance Galopin just wins his third Gold Cup, is it?
Yeah, but if the rumours are true and I know the way your thinking's being supplemented, I think there's your bet for the race without the favour.
Really? Do you think he jumps well enough?
Yeah, he'd be all right. Don't see him down the back in Leopardstown the last day.
No.
Keith was happy with him anyway.
I'd say Keith to be praying that Mark Walsh doesn't want to ride him, but I'd imagine Walsh will want to ride him.
Assume in fact the foil goes to the Ryanair.
Yeah.
Which is, I can't believe it, a race we completely, just to show you how shite the Ryanair is, we didn't even mention it for a second on our preview. It's completely flew over it, for lack of a better term. Utter waste of time. But anyway, you think, Mark Welch, obviously I think JP's probably only going to have one runner, isn't he? So
yeah, well, she'd definitely ride him, I'd imagine. I think extra 2 furlongs, winner around Cheltenham.
Yeah.
I'd love to be on him.
Good.
I honestly think he definitely, I think if he supplemented and Gavin Crumble train him for one day, like he's a genius, he'll be the closest one to him coming up the hill.
Interesting. And isn't it mad that this sport that we all love, like we thought JP was going to be dusting off the red cap and the blue cap for the Gold Cup this year. Now he only has the white cap now, and it's because of a supplementary entry.
Yeah,
that's unbelievable. Right, so I know the way you're thinking without the favourite for Ian. Dec, Gold Cup, who do you fancy?
Yeah, look, the reason the Gold Cup is the best race in the world is there's so much unknowns about it, and we won't find out how good Banbridge is until he goes past 3 miles, and that is the beauty of the Gold Cup. There's no race like it. It's my favourite race of the year, every year, and it's, we know what Galopin can do and how good, like what makes him so good is once he goes into that, what is the unknown for most, he just gets better and better. It's going to be like, it will be really, really hard to beat him. I'm excited to see how good Banbridge is when he goes over 3 months, whether he does stay well, and he just becomes a better horse. But I want to see Galopin win his third Gold Cup because he dances every dance. As we said many times, him and Fast or Slow been knocking 7 shades of shite out of each other every opportunity, keep coming back for more. Galopin gets beaten, comes back again, wins Gold Cups, goes to Leopardstown, takes good horses out of the way there. He's just been an absolute joy to watch.
And the other thing he has in Banbridge, he's not ground dependent.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
He's won on every ground.
Yeah. I just hope he wins it, and people are gonna knock him and say, "What did he ever be?" Well, like I think we're living in a, quite the division has been quite deep in Ireland for the last, 7 to 10 years anyway. We don't get the hype over here. It's they'll probably never be as celebrated as some of the British horses, but like what he's done, how many Irish Gold Cups can he win? Like, Carter won 5 King Georges, but like this fella's just not going there. He's going to Leopardstown instead, and I'm glad I'm around going racing as much as I can while he's around racing, and it's nice to be living in an era of a superstar like that. So I hope he goes and wins his third.
Yeah, that's always why I'm on about age as well. Like when you get a horse novice chasing by 5, rising 6, it opens the door for the exceptional ones to put 3 Gold Cups together or more. And obviously the constitution that this horse has had, the consistency this horse has had. It's just, he's the best I've seen in the flesh. And I don't think it's even really remotely close now at this stage, especially around Leopardstown. He's just a pure joy. Even an article a few months ago in the paper saying like Galopin Des Champs hasn't really caught the horses or caught the public's imagination. You remember that one? Like
But the post is just clickbait now, though, isn't it?
Yeah, like obviously they weren't at
that's because of his name. You know, they don't like his name. Galopin Des Champs. It's not a very flashy name. That's why no one likes it, isn't it?
Rascal of the
Well, it was
Field.
the same album photo, wasn't it? Just such a shit name.
That was a shit name, though. Come on, like. Just before we move on to Luke, Ian, where would Galopin Des Champs rank in your hierarchy?
In your stable.
Where would he rank in the best?
Behind Tigerstown Diva.
We'd have to put another furlong on the gallop there to leave the others to be that far behind him.
Where would he rank in the best that you've seen?
Oh, definitely he's up there, isn't he?
Yeah.
I suppose like Kato Star, Denman, and then him. But like, there's like people say he's not as good as them. Why isn't he? Like, you can only beat what you're beating. He always turns up. Like, he was some certain Martin Pipe, wasn't he?
And there was an English certainty in that as well, which is unbelievable. They had Langer down at what? I can't even remember, but yeah, Jesus
like
Christ.
they talk about Cotto and Denman and the matches, but what was there two? Twice did they race each other? Like, you know, him and Fast or Slow have been going at it at three different race courses.
Exactly, yeah.
You know, I know Fast or Slow. I know JJ come off in the Gold Cup and he was traveling like a travelly thing, like, you know.
He was,
that's the one little downer, isn't it? That we didn't get to see Fast or Slow turn in over the Gold Cup trip. How was he? Now gonna, you know, have the match again, but in the Gold Cup. That was unfortunate, but look, they've been having matches going at it, and you know,
it'll definitely be remembered more fondly in 10 years' time than it is now, and it'll be appreciated a lot more when nostalgia kicks in. It's going to be really, really appreciated.
Well, I don't know, like Hurricane Floyd probably didn't get the credit he deserved until his last season when people were calling for him to be retired, and he came out and he won the Morgiana, Leopardstown twice, and then, you know, toured in a champion hurdles. Probably 1-2 champion hurdles, probably remembered most for running a cracker to be toured.
Well, the likes of Galopin Des Champs, like, how many horses has he killed? Jerry the Clown,
he's along with
Brave Man's Game. What's he now like?
He still has nightmares about him.
Yeah, you know, like he's just broke their hearts, like.
And he keeps coming back, like, and he had a tough Gold Cup last year. Like, he looked tired after it. He should look tired after the Gold Cup, but I thought Paul really looked after him against Brave Man's Game. Like, he didn't really ask him until after the last, and he wasn't going away then. But I thought he had a hard race last year, and I didn't expect him to be the same. But look, he came out in the John Dorkin, went from the front, looked himself, and then he's just been brilliant at Leopardstown. Like, so, like, he's some constitution now.
Yeah, no, he's an absolute joy. Right, Lukey, you've been nice and patient and quiet there, so I'm going to give you a double duty here. I'll let you talk about the Gold Cup, and then whenever you're ready, you can go on to your best bets of Friday.
Actually, Galopin Des Champs probably just wins. Like, you can't look by him. I actually have a funny story. Like, when I was back in college, Patrick Mullins was on doing a chat with college or whatever, and someone says, "Oh, sure, give us a horse for the season." This is before he even ran, and Patrick says, "Oh, Galopin Des Champs. Wherever he goes this year, just back him." It's right. Comes out first time. Bet half a length by Sea Ducker in his maiden hurdle. Pulled up at Christmas. 6 behind appreciated. It's like, that's enough of that. Comes out, wins a Martin Pipe, and 2 Gold Cups going on to 3 now. Fair to say that he came out the right side of that argument anyway. Listen, it'd be great to see him getting his 3rd in a row here. I'd agree with Ian on it. I know the way you're thinking. If he gets supplemented, which the talk is, I think Frank was on through the week with Nick Luck or something maybe, and he said they're likely to be supplemented. Like, there's only 1 Gold Cup. He ran a cracker at Leopardstown last day it was a closing 50, extra 2 furlongs here back to Cheltenham. Nice hill to climb up. I think he could be the one to follow him home. And then we have a Trixie again for the Friday. The first leg is going to be Dino Blue and the JP colours in the Mare's Chase. She's kind of been robbed of a few decent prizes. Like, she always runs her race. She's come out this year and she's done nothing wrong. She finished behind. She ran the first day down in Cork behind an Ergamine. It's a grand run. She went on to, let me get it up here. She went on and ran well before coming out and giving Allegory Devassi £7 at Nace the last day. And she came up the wrong. It was weird. Like, a Nace, you'd usually be saying whatever comes up the Sandside just wins. And she went up the far rail and still won. It was hard to know who was in front the whole way up the straight. But yeah, she came up the wrong side of the track and still won. She's that bit older now. I think she'll see out the trip a bit better, and the better ground will help her this year. Obviously, it looks like it's going to be a decent race this year, only by night. Allegory Devassi, who's always kind of in this race. Limerick Lace hasn't lifted a leg really this year. Yeah, I thought, like, she's short enough there, 13 day. I thought she'd probably be a nice banker leg for the Trixie before going
Dr.
on to
Dano's over anything further than 2 miles, Luke. Come on.
I was looking at that a second ago, and I was going to mention it, but I said I didn't want to mention the war when I'm tipping her up. The second
can't help how
of
Ralph
the
is.
Trixie. Listen, no one can choose their family. We're stuck with them. The second leg is going to be the big Westerner in the Albert Barrett. No, I am hoping Final Demand does not turn up here. For everyone's sake, like, I think half the country must have him back for the Turners. This field could cut up a nice bit now for her. Final Demand is in their favourite at the minute. I think he'll turn up in the Turners. That's been the talk the whole time. It's what Brian Drew say, it was 60-40 or 70-30 the other day. I don't see them. I don't think he has enough experience to turn up here in the Bartlett. He's big raw horse. I thought he'd be a Turner's horse. The Yellow Clay looks like going for the Turners. The big Westerners in there next, and this is definitely her target. She's 4-1 there. I can see her being a bit shorter on the day when the top two of the market hopefully come out. She was very good the first day in Punchestown, beating Argento Boy. Argento Boy went off a silly price that day. He was well odds on. And she jumped great that day, and she went around betting by a length, but she could have betting by further. She made a mistake at the last, but pulled away up the short run in at Punchestown before going on to Limerick at Christmas and winning the Grade 2. She bet my Mozzie's sister that day. Gave the form a small little boost when she ran at the DRF behind Final Demand. So you'd be hoping Final Demand doesn't show up, and you're kind of banking on that. And the last leg will be Woodhoo in the Martin Pipe. She's a very likeable mare. Like, she's undefeated over hurdles. The form of her race the last day, Joyous and Take No Chances in there. Like, no one's missing that form. She's found in the market there, 13-2. But you're just hoping that this thing of Willie's that everyone's talking about isn't a jet. This Kopeck to me, 136. Who knows? Throw dart at a load of numbers there. Pick out a number and just throw it on him. Like, who knows? 136. He could be anything, but I think she's just very gutsy. She was very tough the last day when she bet the other two mares at Cheltenham.
Has the English handicapper just done? Has he just done the little maths equation to give him?
That's all they're allowed to. That's their policy. Like,
he can't do it. He can't do his job.
It's quite literally their policy. Yeah, it's like you take their kilos and you multiply it by 2, and then off you go.
Sure, imagine if you took the Irish lads' word.
Imagine, like, it's not only that. Like, you could be Irish and get £10 for just breeding.
Well, I told you that one earlier, didn't I? Daily Present was beaten 28 lengths in the Kinmore last year. He's been pulled up on a well-held tour twice since, and he's £3 higher this year. What did he go up for? Being beaten 28 lengths and getting pulled up?
Yeah, for not
so he's £3 higher than last year.
Oh God!
That thing could be anything. I seen like Ruby was on Look on Sunday, and they were trying to work out what his form would be were up against the horses here, and it was sounding like it might have been a lot better than 136 anyway. But listen, I like the mare. I've liked her since that run at Cheltenham. Danny Gilligan rode her the last day. He's
He'll
likely
retain
to
the
ride
ride, won't
again.
he?
Yeah. And this, like, she's done nothing wrong. I think if the other lad doesn't turn out to be an absolute airplane, I'd say she will be winning the last for us.
The only thing about Woodhue that I and I said this to Dec, and look, there's no two ways about it. The form is very strong, but they absolutely crawled in that race at Cheltenham, and I'm just wondering if it's pot luck that the form worked out. If you actually freeze that race at the final hurdle, like literally any horse that you backed is in with a chance jumping the last.
I think she's
but she just knows how to get down and dirty and win.
I think she's been really, really well placed now.
Yeah, Gordon's done phenomenal with her.
Yeah, I think she's been
that.
really well placed. Now, she was awarded the race against Nürburgring, wasn't she?
Yeah, Nürburgring's the only one to finish in front of her, but not be declared the winner, I guess.
No, I just think, look, she obviously come from that crop of juveniles that are very, very good, but she's been really, really well placed. Yeah.
You like her?
I do like her, but like, you know, there's something else we like in the pipe as well, isn't there?
Yeah. Oh well, I've about 4. I don't have actually. I've 2 back for the pipe right now, but I could easily have about 6. Right, Dec, go on. I'll let you go on. Your Friday bets there.
The county hurdle, is Cargees going to go here?
I think not, but it's 50-50. If Lossiemouth goes to the mares, actually, there's probably a chance that she does.
Like the Jade de Gruge as well in the mares, don't they? Same owner.
Yeah, it's fair point.
Yeah. Look, you know, it's that crop of juveniles again. She found only Madgeburn and Sergino too good for her last year, and they were the top 2 of that bunch. She's been given plenty of time. She was disappointing on her return, but she's a mare, so we'll allow that. If she was in the champion hurdle, I'd be having a good go at her. I think she's that good. She was so consistent last year. She ran can we say 4 spring festivals? Are we calling the DRF a spring festival?
I probably
First weekend in February.
Yeah.
No, look, she ran at 4 big festivals. Anyway, I just hope it hasn't left a mark on her. But look, I think she's high class. The Albert Barty, you've already mentioned him, Ballybow.
Yeah.
I was very, very impressed with him in that Mercedes-Benz hurdle race at Clonmel. It was messy, but look, he made all, and he won a bit of a sprint. Then the runner-up from his maiden has followed up, but like, I think Ballybow's quite a nice, you know, kind of a shame not taking advantage of that mark he has, but I think he go here and win anyway. The Fox Hunters, Angels Dawn, she won the Kinmore 2 years ago. She fell when she wasn't beaten. Now she might have won the race, but she wasn't beaten at the time last year in the same race. Third in the TSTs just over a year ago. She has Right Hill well held. You would think it would have a decent chance if she wasn't in there. I think she's a good thing now. And then the Martin Pipe, we're going to go one better than last year. We haven't got as much hype around it, but Mikey O'Connor's going to do it for us this year, isn't he? Top on the go. He was actually dropped £1 by the Irish handicapper for his last run, and then the English lad whacked £7 tax on, but dropped £1.
How do you get dropped £1 and then within 48 hours get 7?
Yeah, look, I don't know, but you know, it's going to be, we're going to feel a bit different walking out this year than we did last year.
You think?
I fucking hope.
I'll never forget, last year was horrendous. Get Ian back, sorry. That was
last year. It's been raining as well. No, it wasn't until we got back. Wasn't until we got back to the hotel. And our set was like,
you're gonna tell
me how much he had on the horse. I was like, what? What? Oh, Ian, we were very strong on Water for Whispers last year for a long, long time. And anything we won that week.
We were on a 25s down, and he 3-1 favourite.
3-1 favourite. So Mike O'Connor Rose's one this year. Tap on the
I
goal.
actually thought he did well on him as well. Like he dictated his sedate
He was
gallop.
just too
He
keen,
he just lost a rail, didn't he? And he got picked up. Yeah, it's a pity. Right, Ian, your Friday bets. Who do you fancy?
Bride's Hill each way in the mares if the ground's good. Should definitely be better mare and good ground. Galbert Bartlett, Derry Hassan Paddy. Obviously, we had him as when he won his 4-year-old point to point. Lucinda bottom. I think he's a fair horse. Likes the yellow clay and all. Like he's followed them around Navan and schooling races, and they didn't know we were following them. So I think he'll beat him. He's 3 from Lucinda. Now he will want slow ground. Well, she seems to think he does. I think he'll handle it. He's a very nice horse. Even if he doesn't win the Albert Bartlett this year, he'll be a fair chaser next year.
What sort of a price is he?
He's 16s now. He was 100.
Decent price. He won at Windsor, didn't he?
Coming on, tell us now. 16.
Right, you had him as a youngster, in, did you?
Yeah, we had him for Man Donegal. We had him as his 3-year-old. He won his 4-year-old point to point first in Tats, and Lucinda bottom then. He won his bumper easy for.
And how much of that hundreds do you have in?
Good bit. Good bit. No, if he wins, it'll be good. He's my only bet of the week.
Oh, fantastic! Really, only bet of the week.
Yeah.
Jesus, there's a strong statement.
There's one for you now. Yeah.
Oh, did you say the only day you're over there is Friday as well?
I'm thinking about going, yeah.
Oh, Jesus.
So hold on, it's your only bet of the week. You're planning on jetting over, and you will have 100 to 1 anti-post, is what you're saying.
Yeah.
No, I might say you're following who in school and races.
Yeah.
There's the clip now, Lukey. Get us a clip.
I think then in the if I know the way you're thinking, supplement. I think he's the bet without the favourite. And in the Fox Hunters, I can't find him now. Fairly Famous. I think he's a good bet for Gene Andrews and the Fox Hunters. Didn't he? Was he second? Was he second a couple of years ago, or was he? He bet.
I'll have to check. I'm not. I wouldn't be call myself a hunter expert now, but
he actually
fairly famous.
He bet the winner in. At the Hunters Chase meeting in May, then he actually bet the winner of last year's Fox Hunters.
Premier Magic, yeah, I see that now. Okay, interesting. Yeah, 16 to 1 there, give or take. Yeah, only an 8-year-old, Jenny Mac. Okay,
yeah,
interesting. So yeah, so it looks like Ian, you're trying to win the lot on Friday. Bride's Hill, Derry Hassan Paddy. I know the way you're thinking. Even without the favourites, 10 to 1 with the favourite in the race is still going to be a decent price without the favourite. And Fairly Famous around 16 to 1. So.
Yeah.
Ian planning to retire on the final day of the.
Yeah, well, he owed us that now because he's only been tipping favourites all night.
He's gonna mug you off there.
Winners are winners.
He was like AP there, just he was favourite for that.
Oh, stop. Okay.
Right,
so
you can have 25s for the Euro on the machine too.
Derry Hassan Paddy.
Euro.
Ian's trying to take over the world with the punting on Friday. Well, best luck to you. I might even just do that Yankee myself for the laugh. Actually, that's quite.
Yeah, I'm gonna do that.
Yeah. Anyway, right. I'm gonna be jumping on East India Doc and the Triumph. He's one of my better bets of the week as well. Now, again, going with favourites. He's about 2 to 1, give or take. But I was at Trials Day in January, and the way this horse just kind of sped into the last and just winged it and went away from Stencil, who's Boodle's favourite. I thought there was a bit of superstar ability about him now. I think he's a right one. Obviously a half-brother to East India Doc. Or not East, obviously half-brother to himself, what am I saying? Half-brother to Burdett Road. He settled a lot better than him. I think he's a little bit more professional than him. I think he's going to be better than him in time. And I think he's going to take a hell of a lot of beating in the Triumph Hurdle. In the Mare's Chase, I'm actually going with the English. I don't think they've ever won this race, but Lucy Wadham has a very nice horse in here, Telepathic, who's just gone strength to strength over fences. She's been really good, only 7 years of age. Has now a master mark of 148. Did beat Bride's Hill at Huntington last time out, although I do think Bride's Hill was given a good bit of weight away that day, maybe 6 pounds, possibly even more. But as I said, this mare's only 7. She's clearly progressive. And I do think a lot of the mares in that race, Dino Blue with the trip, Allegory de Vassy, just whether she's in love with the game anymore, maybe that's unfair. I don't know. Brideshill has to come back to form. Limerick Races, Dec said, hasn't lifted a leg all year. Only by night, I think, be more comfortable at 2 miles. This mare's done very little wrong, and I think at a double figure price, I think she'd hit the frame. So definitely telepathic for me. I've completely followed Dec in on Ballybow. I was impressed with him at Clonmel. Did win a sprint, but I thought he was very professional. I think he'll stay well, and I think he'll take a fair bit of beating in the Albert Bartlett. And then the final one, again, coming back to my 5-year-olds that are under a mark of 140. There's one in the Martin Pipe that I think is severely lurking. No one's really mentioned him. Hopefully he runs. He is in the Gallop and the Sean Colours, a horse called High Wind. I think he's about 33-1 at the moment for Willie Mullins. Won his maiden hurdle, then ran a couple grade ones. Couldn't really get competitive at the level. That wouldn't really bother me. Obviously, as Dec said, calling the 4-year-olds last year a vintage crop. This horse was kind of just following them behind in grade ones. Ran in the Liffey, made a mistake very early. That was a seasonal reappearance. Made a mistake very early and was very badly hampered when running on into a crowd of horses at the last. He was very badly hampered by a faller. If you actually look at the head on, he actually turned sideways. He was that badly hampered. He was looking at the bleeding betting ring after jumping the last, and he was just allowed kind of just stroll home in his own time. This would be his first time at 2.5 miles, which he's bred for. Ground should be fine. And he's off a mark of 130. So with all that collateral form with the horses last year, he's in here off 130. He did have multiple entries, but the only race he'd be able to get into off his mark is the Martin Pipe. And I just have a few quid on him each way because I could imagine there'd be a severe amount of improvement with him now up and trip, quite unexposed. So he'll round off the Friday bets. And that brings us to an end of our Cheltenham preview, our Ryanair chaseless Cheltenham preview. I do find that so funny.
That's a breath of fresh air, wasn't it?
It's a real breath of fresh air. It's just like the old times. I don't know, lads, if you want to give your best bet of the week, or if you want to give your best one or two. If you just before we close off, lads, if you want to give maybe your 1 or 2 best bets of the week, up to yourselves. Ian, I'll circle back to you, and again, just before I do, just want to thank you very much for joining us. Really do appreciate it, and very best luck with your horses at Aintree as well. And obviously Derry has some Paddy, best luck in your retirement too. So just want to get your best bets before we let you go.
He's my bet of the week. If the ground's anyway slow on the Friday, I think he'll win the Albert Bartlett.
Awesome. Okay. So Derry has some Paddies. It really drilled home. Luke as well.
1 in the morning.
He'll be no price after this goes live. Right. So Luke as well. Massive thank you, bud. Always appreciated. Your 1 or 2 or 3 or whatever your best bets of the week there.
Go with Midnight Our Friend in Kimure.
Midnight Our Friend in Kimure. So it looks like it snaps only. I will be. If it's nap only, it's Lucky Place in the Stairs Hurdle for me. Strongly fancy him. Dec, who's your nap?
Solness is my bet of the week.
Solness is the nap. So if you are looking for a Yankee, it is Lucky Place in the Stairs, Solness in the Champion Chase, Derry Hassan Paddy in the Albert Bartlett, and Midnight Our Fred in the Kim Muir. I don't think we have an nap at the top this year. I don't think we're very much in agreement with any horse, unfortunately.
Was there anything?
Stumptown, wasn't it?
I suppose Stumptown, yeah, in a way. Like we all kind of agree, even though you tipped the Goffer, you madman. But yeah, suppose nap at the top. I suppose we were all waxing lyrical about Stumptown. So if you want to get involved in a top weight in the cross country at around 3-1, I do think he's going to drift though. There's a lot of talk about Bustleton, and then other horses. Obviously, Vanillier in the same yard. Like I do think you're going to get a bigger price on Stumptown nearer the day, personally speaking. You might even get a shade at 3-1, 7. You definitely get 3-1. He might even get 7-2 on the day. So maybe keep an eye out on that. I don't know, lads. Any closing comments, or are we happy to leave it at that?
No, looking forward to getting over and seeing the people we meet every year, and anyone that wants to come up and say hello, come up and say hello. It's always great to meet the people that do listen to us, and really looking forward to Ian looking after all the drinks Friday night now.
Oh, very good. Yeah, no, we all do very much appreciate it. Again, thank you to Ian and Luke for their time tonight. Just keep like, share, and subscribing. We do this for free off the skin of our own back. So we don't look for anything. So just share the podcast around, share the love, have a bit of fun. And until next time, guys, that was Tap 96. All the best and bye bye.
Cheers.
And thanks.